Welcome back. It's hour number 2 on this Wednesday. Pat Landrum, Molly Conrad with you until 2 o'clock. We'll talk to the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide momentarily, Chris Stewart. Also later on in the program, outkicks Trey Wallace. And our former teammate here at Jocks, now on the ticket in Dallas, Texas, Matt McLaren, will be on the show in the 4th hour of the show as we'll get his thoughts on the Red River rivalry.
It's Wednesday. That means it is time for the Finnick. The Finnick, massive screens. Best entertainment you're going to find. Explosive sound from every seat in the house. The experience is bigger, brighter, and bolder. They got a great new restaurant menu. We're cheering for wings that win MVPs, wood-fired grilled burgers, stacked like your favorite fantasy team, and steaks so good, you're going to forget there's a game on. But speaking of games, all the video boards, all the big screen TVs, the state-of-the-art sound you're going to get, and don't forget 5:30 to 8, Wednesday through Friday, you get acoustic music acts. 10 o'clock, the bands crank up on Friday. And then all weekend long through Monday Night Football with college football and the NFL, you can enjoy the Finnick. Can't wait to see you there. The Finnick, 1630 2nd Avenue South near Railroad Park.
Always, each and every week at this time, thanks to Craneworks, we're able to catch up with the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Chris Stewart.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Craneworks, Rentalworks, yeah! The big dog's got it.
Crimson Tide Network's Chris Stewart on Three Man Front is brought to you by Craneworks. Lift it, buy it, rent it. The big dog's got it. And now, Chris Stewart.
Chris joins us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Chris, I hope you're doing well on this Wednesday, and I'm sure it was great to see Johnny football again there at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
It was great to see Johnny football lose at Bryant-Denny. Had not seen that, but was glad to see that. Was glad to see that happen. I told somebody earlier today, it reminded me of an old school pro wrestling guy who was a villain back in the day, but he's retired and become a manager. I'm not going to put him in the classy Freddie Blassie category just yet, but maybe Captain Lou Albano. How about that? And he's there with the upstart Pavia and kind of fulfilling what he used to be and who he used to be. But thankfully, the magic didn't rub off and they didn't get it done in Tuscaloosa.
Chris, when you look at this Vanderbilt team, and you've called a lot of games that involve Vanderbilt, but this particular Vanderbilt team, just describe how they're different.
Yeah, speed at all positions, size and speed, especially among linemen. They got more talent. I mean, we said it last week. It's second time in 80 years they've gone 5-0 to start a season. That's historically good for them. And, I think Clark's built a really good team and program. On the one hand, you go, can he sustain it? Doing it 1 year at Vandy is impressive enough. 2 years is really impressive. I'll be shocked if he's around for a third year because I think a better job will come and get him. Maybe he does stay there. He's got ties. I mean, that's part of what brought him to Nashville. He's got a link there to that program, so he may stay a little longer than James Franklin did or somebody else. But still, he's going to have a chance. And can the next guy do what he did, what he's done? Can they build off of what he's done? That'll be the question to ask. But for this year right now, I'll be very surprised if they have a drop-off. They've played well enough. If Alabama wasn't who they were in the second half of that game, that's another Vandy win. And we're feeling a whole lot different going into this week in the matchup at Missouri.
Well, obviously, there were plenty of positives from that game for Alabama, both in the first and the second half. But if there was one area that impressed you the most about Alabama's performance on Saturday, what would it be?
That's tough. It's a good question, but it's tough. I would say probably the ability when you're down 7-0 in Vandy's driving again to not panic, but the defense doing exactly what you needed them to do, and that's force a turnover. Because even 3 points right there is going to be big for Vandy. But once the defense got the takeaway, the offense to drive it 90 yards. I thought it was pretty amazing that both teams scored their touchdowns after turnovers or takeaways by their defense, and then 90-plus yard drives. That's kind of rare. But for Alabama to be able to do that, move it down the field and tie it, but also the resiliency to answer back when Vandy scores right before halftime. I mean, there's only, 90 seconds to go, give or take a couple of ticks on the clock, and you go back down and score without a timeout and even things up. And it just set the tone. Yeah, you got to get a stop and then get a 3 and out, but you force them into a punt, you take it back over, and then you take the lead and you don't give it back up again. Those were all pieces that were big. In terms of there being one moment, though, it probably was the forced fumble by Justin Jefferson in that first half when it's 7-0. It looks like it's going to be, at best, from a Bama perspective, 10-0, at worst, 14-0. And then you have, here we go again, maybe going through your mind.
You got another talented team you're going to take on in the SEC on the road, a Missouri football team this weekend, Chris. And Chris Stewart, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, joining us here on Three Man Front, presented by Craneworks on the Higginbotham Hotline. A different team, good, just the same as Vanderbilt, but the early road start, I don't even know if trap games, Chris, now with the schedule and everybody being pretty much good in the league, I don't know if trap games or look-ahead games are really a real thing anymore, but how much of a concern is that for Kalen DeBoer with his football team?
Look, when I say that I'm not as concerned as I was at the start of this summer about this game, I don't have any less of regard for Missouri than I did.
Sure.
They're where I expected them to be, based on who I thought they would be, but also on what their schedule was. And it's an incredibly dangerous game. The reason I feel better about it, though, doesn't have anything to do with Missouri. It has to do with the fact that I think Alabama has grown up and learned a lot from that first week in terms of the fact that you've got to be at your highest level every time you hit the field. And is it possible to do that? No. It's not, but you've got to be as close to that as you can be if you're going to get a win. And this is going to be a place where I think it's been a long, long, long time since they've had two top 15 teams meet in Columbia, Missouri.
1979, Chris.
They're not in a spot that they're accustomed to. So this is very tough, potentially. For Alabama. But at the same time, Bama's more accustomed to this type of game than Missouri is. It's the early start, which is not going to be an issue for Alabama. But if they start slow, it ain't got anything to do with the time. I went to practice yesterday, and we're walking off the field at 11:30 because they go early in this day and age. It's an early practice schedule. They're on the field at 9 or 10 o'clock every day during the week. So that's not going to be an adjustment for them. It will be the fact that they just didn't play at the level they're capable of if this doesn't go the right way. It's going to be a credit to Missouri, and Bama will have done some things that are uncharacteristic as of late if they lose this football game. But it won't be because they're looking past Missouri and looking to Tennessee. It won't be because they've taken it lightly, anything like that. They'll just, if they don't succeed, it'll be because they got beat.
Chris Stewart, the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, joining us. Thanks to our friends from Craneworks, joins us on the Higginbotham Hotline. So before the season began, did you believe that you would be calling a pass reception or a handoff to Caden Proctor? Did you have that on your bingo card before the season started?
Man, I'm shocked they let me come back anytime. So anything I call is a surprise to me. But no, that was not on the table. Here's the amazing thing about that. The lateral, technically he has 2 rushes because of the way it goes in the stat sheet
right.
with what happened against Georgia. And we know that. We talked about it. But that play, and I think this is part of the creativity and patience of Kalen DeBoer. That play they had put in in the summer or in the preseason. They would practice it, and Caden had a couple of drops, and they shelved it, and he had to go back and prove that he was not going to drop the football, that they could rely on him. And before they would put it back in the rotation of plays that were on the table. So they do. And just kind of a footnote to that same thing about being patient. That third down play we talked about to Jam Miller that they ran at the end of the game that iced it, that had been in the playbook for Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb since 2020 when they were together at Fresno State. They put it in, they practiced it every week, but they had not run it until that moment. So that's some of their patience. Now, that's on one end of the spectrum. The other end, that play they ran to Caden Proctor the other day was put in last week. So it's not like they've been sitting on that. That literally had not been put in. They had not practiced it until this week. And I think you probably heard the comments, Caden saying, hey, we're going to run this. He's like, okay, let's go. So, I think he's had to build a trust level, but it's clearly affected. You go back and look at an end zone shot of that run, it called for him to go in the middle, and he did initially, but it's clogged. He's got to bounce it off the edge, and he does, and there's a guy there who, God help him, he's trying to stop Niagara Falls with a Dixie cup. It ain't happening. He just absolutely was trying to stop him, but had no chance, even though he was in the right position and everything. So, look, the guy's a weapon, but as much as anything now, it may be that he's a decoy in stuff you put out there. You got to respect it. You got to defend it, but that can open up other things as well.
Well, open up other things and other things that you can do. I mean, we're going to have to get the double pass at some point, right?
I've asked about punt returns. I've asked about a lot of things, and I don't think we're going to have to worry about that. I don't think that's going to be a concern on the table.
I was hoping we would get at least.
You never say never.
Yeah.
You never say never.
I need Caden Proctor touching the ball
never.
at least once a game. I think it's good for college football.
I want him to kick an extra point. That's what I want him to do.
That'd be
full
good.
house backfield. I want full house backfield, and I want him Steve Whitman in the front there as the fullback on that thing.
Oh, great stuff. Chris Stewart, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. And I know that one Diego Pavia last Saturday, he sure could have used our friends at Craneworks to pick him up when he was down.
He could have, and, Bama did indeed lay waste to the Doors' hopes of going undefeated, as I pulled the corniest segue ever. But
sorry.
Speaking of waste Works. Is a Craneworks company that provides roll-off dumpster rentals in the Birmingham area. They got a range of sizes and fast service, and they are your source for local dumpster rentals. Visit wasteworksusa.com for a quote.
I had a great setup, but I don't think Craneworks would have appreciated
probably
it.
David.
Or Diego.
David will appreciate us taking the high road. Now, on a private phone conversation, he'll probably want to hear it.
Yes.
But, at least on air, let's keep it professional. Thank you very much.
That's right. Hey, Chris. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask him, travel-wise, are you guys driving to Como? Are you flying to St. Louis, then driving on I-70 over to Como? What's your itinerary?
Well, let me tell you, I am actually going to drive. Going to go part of the way tonight after the radio show. Going to go a little south of Nashville, then get up tomorrow. Reservations tomorrow night at one of my favorite places. Patrick Murphy told me about it when we were heading to St. Louis for the SEC basketball tournament, the year of Colin Sexton and the floater with Avery Johnson as coach that put us in the NCAA, to Charlie Guido's on the Hill in the Italian district
this weekend.
Do it, guys. Appreciate you.
That's Chris Stewart, the voice. Botham is your one-source solution for insurance.
Some of the bigger takeaways, what Chris just weekend for Alabama and Missouri. We'll get
Always appreciate Chris Stewart joining us, the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. And Landrum, you asked him the question about the game in Como, and I thought he gave a great answer in regards to, what would happen. I know a lot of people in the old days used to talk about, oh, man, it's the dirty windshield game. It's the 11 o'clock JP game. Players don't get fired up for it. But I thought Chris's answer was dead on in regards to if Alabama loses, what would be the culprit? And it would not be the time.
Because it has changed. I don't think it's going to be specific to just this year with NIL, whatever other factors. There's more parity. Vanderbilt was a great example. What Eli Drinkwitz's has been able to do at Missouri, a great example. So there's really not. We used to, back in the old days, well, there's that. You don't want to be looking ahead. You've got this game. You got to take them serious. I don't think that's as real as it used to be.
Well, the other aspect to that is that Nick Saban always practiced in the afternoon, never practiced in the morning. Well, Kalen DeBoer is a morning practice guy. So they, like Chris said, they were off the practice field yesterday by 11:30. So they're used to the early morning routine. So, if you get beat, you're going to get beat because it's X's and O's. It's not because you're kicking off at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, and I think that some of that stuff, that's just in the past. It's just using it as a convenient excuse. Well, our body clocks, we weren't ready to play. I mean, come on. We adjust, don't we? As human beings?
Well, and you brought up the point because you obviously travel on the road with UAB football, and the last thing in the world is you want to sit around in the hotel all day long.
No.
Like you want to get up, and get moving, and get to the stadium and do your thing.
Yeah, you want to get in your routine. Because that, if there's anything, waiting for that late game, that's something you typically don't do in the course of your week. Because those guys, whether it's an early morning workout or early morning practice, they're ready to go. So, fascinating conversation with Chris.
Sure was. Another interesting game that we probably haven't even mentioned yet because we've been so hyper-focused on really 3 games in the SEC this weekend. But there's a really good docket of games, including South Carolina at LSU. That's a big game. So South Carolina, if you're not paying much attention to their schedule upcoming, it is a booger bear, as Wimp Sanderson would say on Fridays. They're at number 11 LSU. Then they at home against number 6 Oklahoma, number 8 Alabama. Then you go on the road to number 4 Ole Miss, and then on the road at number 5 Texas A&M. So you've got 11, 6, 8, 4, and 5 upcoming for Shane Beamer and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Take a listen to a question that a reporter asked Shane Beamer about the upcoming gauntlet in the SEC.
Message to your guys about how to prepare as you enter this gauntlet of a stretch.
One at a time, but if you don't want to play that schedule, I told her it's the wrong conference to come play in. Like, you should have gone play in another conference. If you don't want to play that schedule, you chose the wrong school to come to. I mean, that's just life in this league. So don't tell me in recruiting and when we brought you in the portal that you want to compete and you want to play against the best in the SEC, now all of a sudden shy away from it and look at our schedule and say, oh, shoot, look who we got to play. Look who we get to play. And again, if you don't want to compete against the best, there's plenty of other conferences that they don't play ranked teams every single week. There's plenty of other conferences where you don't go in front of 100,000 people every Saturday. There's plenty of other conferences where you don't play against NFL draft picks all over the field every single Saturday. You do in this league. And as a competitor, that's what our guys chose to do. So,
yeah, you want to be in the SEC.
I mean, it is a tough league. Their schedule is stupid nasty. It's just, hey, plenty of contract extension opportunities for Shane Beamer in this final stretch.
There's no question about that. Also, you look at Oklahoma. I know we've talked about it before. They're playing a Texas team this week that's not ranked, but then you got to play South Carolina. Then the fun starts for the Sooners. They got number 4 Ole Miss, number 12 Tennessee, number 8 Alabama, number 14 Mizzou, and they finished the season with number 11 LSU. Not that Alabama's is a cakewalk. I mean, based on what they have in front of them over the next few weeks.
SEC football has finally caught up with SEC baseball when it comes to top 10 teams having to play week in, week out.
It's brutal.
I love it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and we talked about this yesterday. So on Saturday, Alabama will play its 3rd consecutive ranked team. 4 teams in SEC history have defeated 3 ranked conference opponents in 3 consecutive weeks without an open date. So Alabama would join 4 other teams in SEC history to be able to do that. I also saw this stat, and this is pretty amazing. There have only been 15 wins this season so far by teams over currently ranked top 25 opponents. Only 15 wins over a top-ranked team in college football. Miami has 3 of them. Alabama has 2. So those 2 schools constitute 5 of the 15 wins that have been recorded this college football season by teams over current top 25 teams.
Okay. So it can be a top 25 beating a top 25 or somebody from outside.
Right.
But you're just saying that's only happened 15 times.
Only 15 times this year.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been way more than that. But I guess it's because when it has happened, it's typically been like a crazy upset.
So Miami's got 3, Bama's got 2, Cincinnati, Florida State, Georgia, Indiana, Mississippi State, NC State, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Virginia. Only other teams, and they've got 1.
UCLA, right?
Oh, yeah, I didn't mention UCLA. They're on my list.
I don't want to forget them.
Yes, they're on the list.
Only when they're getting this season.
You got to give them credit while we still can.
Very much so.
Hey,
Might
I
be the only
did
time.
quickly want to go back to the South Carolina schedule. So when they play Vanderbilt wasn't ranked, but you count that as another ranked team. Clemson, that was expected to be. I expected them to be a top 5 team, but you still had that one at the end of the year. And then Coastal Carolina is your little buffer game, who used to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Here's another little fun SEC stat for you. SEC teams are cumulative 46-7 at home this season.
Oh, I thought we were about to get one of those fun stats where you said the SEC is 46-46. Just like last year.
No, home teams have absolutely dominated. And keep in mind, we're just now getting into the meat of the SEC schedule because most teams played cupcakes at home.
Yeah.
You know, they're your non-conference. So that aids to the 46. But 46-7, it's very difficult to win a road game in the SEC.
Let's come up with one of those stats and put it out there for bait. See if anybody takes it.
Oh, there'll be people.
Oh,
take it.
people, yeah. People take all the bait now.
Just like the stupid AI videos.
Hey, by the way, did y'all see Johnny Manziel jump the fence?
Or did you see the little baby in front of his Ring door camera with an alligator that was about to get him? You remember that? Did you see that one?
Yes. There's one that's out this week, and I don't know. It's these guys that are in these little looks like little wooden boats. Looks kind of like a kayak where there's an elephant chasing. I can't tell if it's AI or if it's real.
No, those are real.
No, that one's real.
Okay.
No, they're in Botswana.
Yeah.
And a elephant came charging. Yeah, that was real.
This should be a new segment. Is it AI or is it from Botswana?
But I thought given the situation, the steadiness of the camera, that was pretty impressive. Because if that thing's running at me, that camera's in the water.
They got steady cams over there.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do.
Guy with his breathing. I mean, he's getting charged by an elephant.
I feel like that's just another day over there. They're like, this happened to me last Tuesday as well.
That's not when I'm checking to see if I'm in portrait mode.
It's like bad drivers in rush hour. It's like, this happens all the time.
It's like, I'm just used to it.
It's like no big deal.
Yeah.
If you're tired of worrying about your roof, whether it's your family home or a commercial building, Abide Roofing delivers tailored solutions for every need. At Abide, it's about more than just a new roof. It's about a team of highly skilled pros who bring their A game to every job. They work with precision and pride, using only the best materials to guarantee durability and lasting value. That's why I chose Abide Roofing when I needed a brand new roof put on my home. I called Travis Lloyd and his outstanding local roofing team with over 25 years of trusted experience. I started by having them come out, take a look at my roof, tell me the issues. Then they gave me an estimate, and then they dealt with my insurance company, and that was a huge load off of my back. Call Travis Lloyd, Abide Roofing today, 205-941-6223. That's 205-941-6223. Or just go to their website, abideroof.com. Saw Travis Lloyd the other night, and he was telling me about all the great Jocks listeners that's taken advantage of that free consultation and, of course, the free estimate to let them get on your roof and tell you what's going on, and hopefully there's not a problem. But if there are loose shingles, they can fix it, or a brand new roof replacement, They're your company. AbideRoof.com, 205-941-6223.
It is Wednesday. That means we get the SEC head coaches teleconference, what they're saying around the league leading into the weekend. We'll get to it. Three-man front right here on your home for college football and more. Jocks. $11:33, three-man front. Already a busy show. Brian Edwards, our Vegas insider in the first hour. Chris Stewart, courtesy of Craneworks. Trey Wallace, national college football reporter for Fox and Outkick, will join the show at 12:30. As I mentioned, the SEC coaches teleconference. Brian Kelly of LSU trying to get his team regrouped and ready for a big matchup this weekend. And you look around the league, Conrad, a ton of big matchups. I don't want to say it's a separation Saturday, but somewhat of a separation Saturday with the likes of Missouri and Alabama and those teams that are still unblemished in conference play.
Every Saturday is separation Saturday, it feels like this year, right? And then the next year one team will lose and then have a bounce back win, and we put it right back in the conversation. But no, I mean we're so lucky this year. It feels like every single week you have a bunch of marquee matchups, and we've been blessed to have a lot of crazy upsets and surprising games that maybe don't jump off the page to you, but they've certainly been worth watching, and I'm sure this weekend will be just the same.
So, Bussin' with the Boys, which is a very popular podcast, had Kalen DeBoer on their show. And I think we'll have some audio from Kalen DeBoer and Eli Drinkwitz in just a couple minutes from the SEC teleconference. But this was, I believe, conducted about a day ago. But Kalen DeBoer had this interview with Bussin' with the Boys, and take a listen to the question about the infamous black hoodie.
Quick question. Now that the black hoodie has created some sort of lore, I just got to know, is it the same hoodie every week, and are you washing it in between games?
It's funny how something you've done for so long all of a sudden becomes a thing now. And I'm good. Whatever. I mean, that's what I've been comfortable with for years. And it does get washed. I promise you that. There's been a couple hot games the last couple of weeks, and it's funny that it's taken a little bit of a life there, and keep the guys and my family, my daughters, they see it all, and they're even kind of putting the pressure on me, like, Coach, you can't let us down, so yeah, I didn't mean for it to be that way. It was just kind of what I was comfortable with over the years, but it's kind of taken a life of its own, crazy enough.
There you go. That was Kalen DeBoer about the infamous black hoodie. Well, on Wednesdays during the SEC teleconference, as irony would have it, Eli Drinkwitz is right before Kalen DeBoer during the SEC teleconference. So take a listen to this exchange as Eli Drinkwitz wanted to have a little fun with the Alabama head coach. He asked a question to Kalen DeBoer.
Coach, it looks like your next question is going to come from Eli Drinkwitz of Missouri Athletics.
Hey, Kalen, are you going to wear the black hoodie of death on the sideline this game with us wearing black jerseys?
Oh, Coach Drink. I got to fit in somehow. I'm more than likely. We'll see what the forecast is. I kind of know, but yeah, I'm expecting that. So it's kind of got its own life of its own right now. So we're rolling with it.
That's the only question I needed to find out for the day. All right. See ya.
No love lost between those two.
I love Drink, man.
Could you ever imagine someone doing that to Nick Saban?
Oh my gosh. No,
Can you imagine Chuck Dunlap, who does a great job?
Saban would miss the whole part about the name and where they're from, and then probably go off and then realize.
Well, that's what I was saying. Chuck, who's the mediator on that from the SEC office, does a great job. Can you imagine him trying to censor that, whatever Nick Saban would end up saying?
That's great, though. The black hoodie of death. It's a great name.
So Missouri, they're going to wear the black jerseys. We know.
Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure what the
other combination is.
Do not know the combination yet.
Sailor Tiger, maybe?
Oh, that would be sweet. I've got that helmet.
I love that Sailor Tiger.
It's the best look.
They've only worn that helmet like once or twice.
Are we talking
really ever?
Gold helmet, black helmet, or white helmet?
I bet
they've got a million combinations.
I bet they do the black helmet with the yellow tiger.
Sailor Tiger or regular tiger?
No, the regular tiger. Yeah. If we're lucky, we'll get Sailor
New Age Tiger.
Yeah.
Sailor Tiger's awesome.
Let's see if there's been any announcement.
I could not find anything earlier because that could change my prediction.
Well, I guess they just wanted to get out ahead of it in case Alabama wanted to break out their black uniforms this weekend. They decided we're going to go ahead and
Coach, just letting you know.
Do that.
Yeah.
Y'all save that for Tennessee.
If you're going to give in to Lugnut, you need to let us know before you head out here.
I'm not really sure. They might have. I know the team is wearing black, but a bunch of stuff that they're selling is gold, like at the Mizzou bookstore.
Yeah.
For the game.
So it's a gold out.
I don't know. I have not.
Let's call it a
seen
gold
that.
out.
Okay. Landrum's words, not mine.
Gold out.
So their last game against UMass at home, they went white pants with the gold jersey and gold helmet.
Okay. Not gold out, gold rush.
And it had the script Missouri.
What if Auburn comes out with orange jerseys against Georgia like they did
they're
years
not going
ago?
to do that. They're not going to do that. They're going to come out with orange jerseys. You want that orange jersey, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I do.
You know what? If you guaranteed him that they would beat Georgia, he would. They'd look like Tennessee running out.
I'll wear whatever you want if we're going to win. Yeah.
Yeah. Throw them off a little bit.
Hey, you got to look good to play good, though.
You do. Text line is open, 205-834-9450. We always appreciate all of your texts. We want to say congratulations, first of all, to Dean Isdell. He texts in, he says, holy cow, I just won the trip to South Carolina, Alabama. I'm so excited to represent Jocks as your winner. Changing my name to Bama Dean. Thank y'all so much. It's great listening to great shows every day like y'all's. Dean, thank you so much for listening, and congratulations on the win.
Yeah, congrats, man. That'll be a great time, hopefully.
I've never been to Williams-Brice to watch a game.
Me neither. I'm sure the atmosphere will be exceptional there, and I've always wanted to hear Sandstorm live, so good for you, Dean.
Jim in Anaheim, California. Thank you, Jim, for listening. Maybe I'm being a Bama homer, but who has Mizzou played? Kansas? South Carolina? Sellers threw for 307 yards and 2 touchdowns. Ty should pick them apart. Why so many insiders have Bama on upset alert? Is this the off week?
I think a lot of that is because of a man by the name of Ahmad Hardy. I think that's where a lot of the Missouri love's coming from.
Missouri's a good football team.
You know,
they haven't played Alabama's schedule, but they're undefeated, and they've been impressive, in my opinion, in the games that they played.
Here's the thing that impressed me the most about Hardy. So he's got 730 yards rushing. Out of the 730, 551 of those 730 have come after contact.
Yeah, he'd still be the leading rusher in the SEC with just yards after contact.
What's awesome is he had one FBS offer out of high school. One. And it was Louisiana Monroe where he signed.
So 75% of his carries or of his yardage comes after contact. So you better be wrapping that guy up.
Yeah, missed tackles were a problem earlier in the year. They've done better about that, but it's been a problem for Alabama.
Monticello, Mississippi native. Someone asked, Pat, can the Cubs stay alive tonight? Pat's sure hoping so.
Yes, very much so.
Okay. Hey, y'all. I don't want to be that fan, but why should we be scared of misery?
Well, they have the nation's number 2 defense.
They're playing at home.
They have the number 4 offense.
They're playing at home.
Alabama's just played back-to-back ranked teams, had 2 tough games.
They're 7th nationally in scoring, so they score points. They have the top rushing defense in the nation, holding opponents to just 62 yards a game. They own the number 1 in the country in time of possession.
It's a good stat to be number 1 in.
Yep. They own the ball on average 37 minutes and 29 seconds every game.
That's exceptional.
So just look at last year what happened between Vandy and Alabama, and look what happened this last weekend between Alabama and Vandy.
Well, and I think also, right, for a lot of the fans going into this game going into the Vanderbilt game, you had the memories of last year. A lot of fans are looking at this game going, didn't we shut Missouri out 34-0 last year? So why are we worried about them? But I think this year's Missouri team is better than last year, personally. That game was also in Bryant-Denny Stadium.
And Cook was also injured. I mean, he was injured and then he got re-injured. And then once it got downhill, it got downhill in a hurry.
Yeah.
Weather in Como on Saturday, 75 degrees, partly sunny. Wind gusts of up to 16 miles an hour.
Oh, that's perfect for a lightweight hoodie.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that's great weather with the wind for your award-winning field goal kicker. Is he up for the Groza?
I don't think he's going to be up for any awards.
I don't think I'll see his name on my Groza ballot because I vote for the Groza.
If it comes down to Missouri having to make a field goal to win the game, that's trouble because they're really good with walk-offs in that stadium.
I have already mentally prepared myself that there will be one game this year for Alabama, at least one that's going to come down to having to make a kick at the very end of a game, and I would not feel great about that right now.
Oh, I was talking about Missouri kicking it. Yeah, Talty. Ooh.
But hey, all thicker kickers not there anymore. They're still good though.
So we already heard one prediction. J.D. Pickell, what was his final score? He said it was going to be a close one.
27-24.
Okay. Brad Crawford from CBS Sports, he just posted his prediction for the Alabama-Missouri game, and he's got Bama 30-24. So a 6-point win on the road against Eli Drinkwitz. Brad Crawford also listed his prediction for the Auburn-Georgia game, and he's got Georgia winning by 10, 27-17. So those predictions will be coming hot and heavy. More three-man front here on Jocks. Love to hear from you. The Courtesy GMC text line, 205-834-9450. It is 11:48. Welcome back into Three-Man Front. Pat Landrum, Conrad, and Molly with you until 2 o'clock. Thanks for making us a part of your day. We've already talked to Brian Edwards, Vegas Insider. Also, Chris Stewart, the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Coming up next hour, Trey Wallace from Outkick. And Matt McLaren, a former teammate of ours, now at our sister station in Dallas, Texas. He will join the program at 1:15 as we will talk about the Red River rivalry. Here's something very interesting that we need to keep our eye on. I was unaware that apparently there has been a story that is coming out of North Carolina that has made its way to social media in which there are people that are reporting that Bill Belichick has been fired. I have just gone to behind the paywall of one of the main North Carolina Tar Heel websites, and I'm going to read you directly what their insider Andrew Jones, what he just posted. Okay, I just got back from Charlotte, and here's what I have uncovered and confirmed, etc. so far today. The reports on X that Bill Belichick has been fired are not true. A source with significant knowledge of what is going on chuckled and said the reports are not true. This is as of 12:10 p.m. Eastern. That said, potential exit strategy discussions took place this morning. It doesn't mean Belichick will be fired, but preliminary conversations about the situation and its many prongs, effect, etc., were up for discussion. I can note that if this were to happen, the school would prefer that they do it cause to either eliminate or cut down on any buyout. This comes from two conversations, but it wasn't said that particular aspect was formally discussed. But if termination with cause and no, or if it's minimalized on the contract becomes a real option, it's hard to imagine it won't be acted on. So for them to actually be having this conversation now about firing Bill Belichick is absolutely fascinating.
I think it'd be fascinating to find out what is Bill Belichick. We're not going to know.
What are you going to fire him for cause for? Like,
yeah,
what have they done? Has Jordan done something that has gone against, or they're going to fire him because he had a coach on his staff break an NCAA rule?
Well, you can bet your sweet patootie that somebody has been documenting everything that Jordan has done since the day they got there. But I just wonder, what does Bill Belichick, if he's doing a self-assessment, again, he's not going to tell us, but they ahead of schedule? They're where they thought they would be? Did he go into this going, I really don't know what to expect. Let's spend a whole lot of money and let's coach the way we know how to coach and see what happens. Or is he just, I'm kind of over this now too. I think a lot of North Carolina folks are focused on, is he going to stick it out? But
Why would you want him to right now, outside of the money?
Well, here's what you're gathering. The storms are brewing because I'm behind the paywall and I'm sitting here looking at what he's reporting, and he was talking about all this other stuff that's been coming out. It says a source disclosed to Tar Heel 247 on Tuesday night there were many other violations that have occurred, many on the recruiting front. A second source, when asked about that, said they have heard some things of late, but could not confirm. There was another case of a player injured in the spring who showed up to fall camp and was told he was not part of the team and he could not use the facilities to rehab. This particular player was on the field last season getting some regular snaps. So this is the case that's being built now. You've got NCAA violations, and now you've got a player that was injured, and they're saying that Belichick and that current staff would not give them the ability to rehab in the facility.
Yeah.
That's not a good look.
Again, whether it's jealousy or she doesn't need to be around here, whatever, I guarantee you somebody has been logging everything that Jordan has done at the facility, away from the facility, around games. Somebody's been keeping tabs on that.
Now,
it just sounds like they're building the case against him.
Yes, this writer, once again, his name is Andrew Jones, and he posted this 10 minutes ago. This is behind the paywall at Tar Heel 247, and he finishes all of this up. He says, this is my opinion. As of right now, I don't think it's a lock that Belichick coaches the Cal game. The Tar Heel 247 staff has been placed on high alert, though we are confident if something drastic happens, we will either be the first to know or we'll learn it very quickly that if something does indeed happen. In closing, I will add to this thread, and if I learn anything else as the day progresses, if it's major news, I will post a new thread. But his opinion as of right now, I don't think it's a lock that Belichick coaches the Cal game.
You think that would hurt Bubba Cunningham, their lame duck athletic director's feelings?
I don't think it would hurt anybody's feelings.
But anybody's feelings, but he was not involved in Belichick, right? In getting Belichick. That was all the power people that arranged all of that. Kind of set it up, and then they let Bubba know this is where we're going.
Essentially forced his hand and said, yeah, this is the...
Not accusing him of anything, but it wouldn't surprise me if Bubba Cunningham had people that were working behind the scenes to gather intel.
It just reminds me of like The Office where Michael tries to fire Toby and it's like you have to have cause. It's like it's because I hate him.
Yeah,
like that's what North Carolina is. It's like what's the cause? We're sick and tired of him. Can we please just get rid of him?
We made a mistake.
Yeah, like oops, sorry, this one's on us.
I mean, that's some pretty drastic. I mean, when someone says, as of this moment, I do not think it's a lock that Belichick coaches the Cal game. They're off this week, and then they got Cal coming up the following Saturday.
Was it the trip to Niagara Falls for the wedding where Michael didn't have the hotel room he thought, and Toby offered him?
Oh, yeah, he tried to get – yeah. Yep. That's wild, too. I mean, you just imagine before the year, right, things look different now. You probably circled the Cal game if you're North Carolina's. Oh, yeah, we probably win that one. Not anymore.
Meanwhile, Billy Napier is sitting in Gainesville, Florida going, yeah, life is good.
Yep.
Maybe Bill should fly out to Fayetteville, Arkansas and get on the pontoon boat with Sam Pittman and have a beverage or two.
Talk about all their college days of coaching, all those great memories.